I'm Yahweh. I'm the creator God of my world. And there's no other creator God in my world. You're all the creator gods of your world. So how are you doing so far? What kind of creation have you made so far? See? We're all kind of creator gods in training. You know, we kind of like, we're kind of mucking around. It's like, you know, it's like pancakes or something like that. The first couple of tries here have been pretty bad. It's kind of been pretty bad. So we got to get better at it. We got to get better at it. We got to learn how to do our job better as creator gods of our world. So we have to learn what the rules are. We have to learn how things are working. Things are empty of working in any other way than what I just talked about. And that's the ultimate wisdom, okay? Ultimate wisdom is things are empty of existing in any other way than how I think of them and how I conceptualize them. Things are empty. I just went to the highest philosophical version of emptiness. And then there's like lots of like training sessions. But we don't have time. We're getting old. We got to go for this. I remember one time I was learning a sequence of emptiness meditations where you start with one kind of emptiness and move to another. There's 6 of them, Mahamudra, for those of you who know. And I went to one of my teachers, my teacher's teacher, who was also one of my teachers, Ken Rinpoche, we call him, Ken Rinpoche, Geshe Lobsang Tarshan. And I had an interview with him, and he asked me what I was meditating on, and I said, well, I'm meditating on the 6 different kinds of emptinesses, the 6 different flavors of emptiness. I'm trying to, start with the lower versions of it and work my way up to. And he says, you don't have time to do that. Just go to number 6. You don't have time. What is number 6? 6. And so we don't really have a whole lot of time to waste here. Kind of get it with training wheels. Training wheel versions of wisdom. We have to go, as quickly as possible to the highest form. And I just told you the highest form of wisdom, actually. The highest form of wisdom is there exists nothing in the world apart from your conceptualization of it for you. Nothing exists apart from your conceptualization of it. Okay? There's no self that exists apart from the conceptualization of the self, and there's no world around the self that exists apart from the conceptualization of the world around it. Everything is concept or projection on the basis of parts. On the basis of parts. The parts of which are constantly changing. So you can't just project anything on anything, right? That's ridiculous. That's technically speaking. That's ridiculous, impossible. See, so if we're all projecting this as a cup, I think, right? That's part of what it means to be a human, is that we share as humans certain kinds of projections. So when we see this, we're sharing a projection of this as a cup. But you couldn't project this as a cup unless there was the handle of the cup, the base of the cup, the top of the cup, and so forth. So on the basis of the parts of the cup, we say cup. On the basis of the parts, we say cup. But so we couldn't just say, see the cup. See the cup I'm holding in the hand here? Because there's no parts of the cup here. It's just, right, there's no parts. You have the parts to have the projection. So it's not just anything could be anything, anytime, right? You gotta have the parts first. But on the basis of the parts, we project cup. Now we'll just do one more exercise, because this is kind of, it's both very, very important, and it's also one of those things that make you go, about reality, which is very important to do. It's very important to realize that we actually aren't seeing reality properly. We aren't seeing reality the way it is. So we'll do one more exercise, and then we'll stop. Is this thing that I'm holding in my hand one thing or many things? It is? How many cups do I have in my hand?
One.
Oh, I thought you said it was many. No, it has to be one or the other, okay? It has to be one thing or many things. It can't be both, right? One, many. See, those are different things, aren't they? See, watch. One, many. They're different things, aren't they? Is this one thing or many things? Quick. So I guess I'm holding, how many cups am I holding? All right, so there's the tennis match. Now you start the tennis match. You know like a tennis match? So if it were one thing, so everyone said, well, maybe, of course it's one thing. You're holding one cup. If it were one thing, you ready now? Okay, this is the last one. So it's just like real bucket. It's like race to the finish line. So you're really buckling down here now. If it were one thing, you could not see parts in it. Because if you can see parts in it, it can't be one thing. Okay? One thing means indivisibly one, unitary. So if you can see parts in it, it can't be one thing. Can you see parts in it? Can you see a handle part of it? A base part of it? So how many things are there then? Many things. So I guess there are many things here. So if there were many things here, how could you possibly see one thing here? If there were many things, see? So where's the oneness of the cup coming from? Your idea of the cup, that you're projecting on the parts of the cup. You see parts of the cup, and you put them together in your mind, and you say one thing. There actually are no one unitary things in the world. There are no unitary things out there in the world. All unitary things, all one things that we see, onesies, all the onesies that we see in the world have to be coming from our minds. Okay? Have to be. Because if they weren't coming from our minds, we couldn't see parts in them. There would be one thing out there. And here's what, last thing, okay? And then we can all relax and watch movies and stuff. If there were one thing out there that was one thing, you see what I mean? If there was a single object in the world that was one thing out there, that wasn't, that its oneness was in it rather than coming from us as a projection, it would be everything. It would be everything, and it would be totally indistinguishable. You couldn't even see it, because it would have no left side, no right side, no top side, and no bottom side. Because those are parts, aren't they? Those are parts. Right side, left side, top side, bottom side. If there was one thing that didn't have parts, it would be everything, and it would be indistinguishable. You couldn't say it was a thing, because it would be everything. We say that things are things because they're different from other things. If there were one thing without parts, it would be everything. Things that make you go, Things that make you go, So, the point of these exercises, and we'll continue tomorrow afternoon, is to just, I think one of the main things of going through an exercise like this tonight, is to just start the sweater unraveling a little bit. To just like sometimes you get a little like the wool sweaters and they start to like get a little loose thread or something like that. So we just pulled on a loose thread for a little bit. We pulled on, and the more you pull on the loose thread, the more the sweater starts to unravel. And eventually, they say that because of what we did tonight, it is inevitable that someday that sweater the sweater of our ignorance must unravel entirely. Because the process has begun now. The process has begun. We aggravated, we worried a little thread for a while of our ignorance. We worried our ignorance for a little while. So the more you worry it, you know like dogs worry a bone or something like that? The more you worry the sweater of ignorance, the quicker it's going to unravel. And without the unraveling of the sweater, we will never achieve our goal. Because we are deluded. We're deluded about the nature of reality. And we don't think that things are coming from us and not at us. Because things are coming from us, we must watch our P's and Q's morally. You see? Because things are coming from us, we must be careful about our karma. Because everything is just a projection, we have to live a different kind of life if we want to be happy. If things weren't a projection, we couldn't change them. Because things are a projection, we are entirely in control of our world. We are the Yahwehs of our world. We are the Jehovahs, the creator class of our world. All right?